Well, let's get into our next segment, our Boss Rush Banter of the week. Remember, you can find Boss Rush Banters every day over on bossrush.net, our website. This one, in particular, has had a lot of debate. This is from our editor-in-chief, David Lasby. Shadow of the Erdtree is my quote-unquote game of the year. And I wanted to ask you guys if DLC deserves to be game of the year. Because some people have said, this DLC is amazing. It's big enough to be its own game. And I'm not just talking about Shadow of the Erdtree. I'm talking about the Cyberpunk DLC that came out last year. I'm talking about, The Witcher Blood and Wine actually won Game of the Year at the Game Awards that one year. And is that something that you guys think deserves to happen?
I'm going to go first. I'm going to say no, because it requires the base game to play it. Therefore, it's an extension of the base game.
Danny, what
now,
about you?
If it was separate, like if you could play this without having the base game or having any progress in the base game, then I could consider it.
I see.
Yeah, there are games out there that are like that too. Like it's almost like it's a like for all intents and purposes, Uncharted Lost Legacy that was supposed to be DLC.
Yeah,
but we all know it wound up becoming its own game. But like if they decide to call it DLC, even though you did not need Uncharted 4 to play it, I could definitely follow that logic.
Mm-hmm. That's a solid point. I was gonna sit here and share, but I think it's valid. I think Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty being nominated, didn't play it myself. I never got back to Cyberpunk after launch fiasco. But seeing all the love for Phantom Liberty, well deserved, I think. I would totally see a nominee for that. I'm seeing the love for Erdtree, not my cup of tea, but I really don't want to win Game of the Year again. But I do see the argument though for needing to own the base game. I don't think I would say Horizon. I gotta think Burning Shores. Yeah, I was gonna think Frozen Wilds, Burning Shores. Not that I think it stood the test of time to be nominated for Game of the Year. But even if it was, I still don't think it would stand a chance against whatever else is out this year. Me sitting here thinking what AAA's even came out in 2024 that I'm like, oh yeah, we're gonna have Plucky Squire this year. That's totally gonna win.
I think come out with a release date for that instead of keep teasing us every freaking day.
I tweeted about it today. They put out a new trailer and said, "Hey, soon. We're going to tell you soon." So
it's got to be.
My heart's ready. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. But I think if we're talking the Jeff Keighley Awards, I think there's going to be so many more arguments around that because every gamer boy and their mother is going to be out there complaining about, well, my game didn't win because it's not fair. I think every outlet should do what they want to do. And I think that's totally cool. As I sit here and wait for this Katana Zero DLC to eventually drop, if it's good, I'm totally down for it to be Game of the Year. I'm here for it. So yeah, I'd say it's fine.
Why can't we just have another category for best expansion?
I'd be cool with that too.
Hey, that's what we did last year at the Bossies.
Yeah.
Man, the Bossies.
Yeah. My answer to this is DLC should be their own category exclusive. I'm not talking about just expansions. For example, remember back in the heyday of gaming, when games had six, up to six DLCs, and they were actual valid add-on contents to games. Without them actually being expansions. For example, Monster Hunter Rise and Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. Sunbreak is the expansion that basically turned it into a whole new game, which is kind of why I argued till we made a best expansion category for the Bossies last year.
Mm-hmm.
But Sunbreak is essentially the Shadow of the Erdtree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But okay. So, but wait a second. Because I don't follow Elden Ring that much. How much did that cost? Was that free DLC or did you have to pay for that?
It's $40.
It's an expansion.
Yeah. It added an additional 30 plus hours to the game.
Okay. See, when I have all the facts in front of me, it's easier for me to make these decisions. Okay. Okay, so Shadow of the Erdtree being David Lasby's game of the year, it's all in the eye of the beholder for that. Because for example, like I know I'm pretty good friends with David Lasby. He does not. He's almost in the same category I'm in. He does not play a lot of games, and stuff like that. So when he finds something that he actually likes and latches onto it, like if he wants to call this game of the year, because I sure as fuck tried to call Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak my game of the year last year. I tried. I
That's
didn't
a
win.
valid pick.
I didn't win, but but yeah, but I mean, like it all. I think it's all in the eye of the beholder. But if we generalize it, and like in the spirit of like game journalism, which we all are all in, we have to do what's right and try to be fair about things and stuff like that. DLC I don't feel should ever be nominated as game of the year. The reason why is because it's enhancing a game. If they're re-releasing this game and make it the game of the year edition, there's your loophole right there.
My opinion is that I don't think DLC or expansion should be nominated, because I think it takes away from all of the great games that are new releases and have put a lot of, effort into getting their game out that year. And especially for something like Shadow of the Erdtree. And like, I don't care if people think it's the best thing they played there in like the entire year, right? Like, whatever, you do whatever. But I mean, if you're going to judge it for like an award or some sort of, like when we do the Bossies this year, like it wouldn't be nominated because it's DLC, it's an expansion, right? And so I don't care if it adds 40 or 50 hours to the game. That game came out 2 years ago and has already won a Game of the Year award. And I think it takes away from a lot of the great games that have already come out this year as well, including like smaller games, And I think the games that came out this year deserve their time to shine and not, kind of be in the shadows of a game that's been out for however many years and has, even though the DLC is great, right? Like the DLC, the expansion should have their own categories, right? It's the same reason why we have best ongoing game. It's the same reason why we have, all these other different categories. And some of the categories I disagree with wholeheartedly as well, but I mean, that's a different conversation for a different day. But it's I think expansions, it's almost the opposite argument of, I think indie games should be in the same conversation as quote unquote regular games, because their games, the same amount of effort or more effort has gone into those, and they hardly get recognized as being quote unquote real games.
And damn right they don't.
And so, I wholeheartedly disagree that expansion should be considered for game of the year. But everybody has their own opinion. Everybody can, who am I to tell, somebody to say Shadow of the Erdtree isn't the best thing you played this year and it's not your game of the year.
You're Corey fucking Derrick. That's who you are.
I am. That is me. But
you're the boss of Boss Rush Games.
But he does not want to lose David fucking Lasby.
No, I do not. Oh man. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think it should be. I think it should be its own category. I think it should be its own award. But when you look at the games that come out every year, right? There are thousands of games that come out every year, and you're going to tell me that an add-on to a game that came out a while ago is going to win, as opposed to like these thousands of games that people put out this year. Granted, probably 90% of those don't deserve to be in the conversation, but I don't know. One of these 5-minute trophy, platinum trophy games probably don't deserve to be in that conversation. But
you leave My Name Mayo alone. That is a franchise that transcends time.
Did you play My Name Is Mayo too?
Of course. I gotta get the platinum for 3 yet.
You didn't finish the trilogy?
That one don't take minutes.
I know. I had this plan to do like 10 platinums in one stream, and then it just years went by. I'm like, it's still sitting there. I need to do it.
If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, Matthew Keel, and Todd Oxtra. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network.